through with motherhood and war, with terror, rage and love. I will speak more of them later. They said it could not be done. They said I could not do it. I have done it. I have stood against Athelstan, and history will remember me. And what was done to my children. I never knew my parents. Cenonus was my father, is my father, for all the care and concern he showed. Imagined he was Zeus and showered my mother. I barely knew her. She died. Cenonus, see, he's the horned god, the big I am of the forest, king of all the creatures of the forest. Big I am. I taught my children to take responsibility, to stand up for themselves, own what they do. I brought them up to be honourable. Too many gangs, bands in the forest, Sherwood. No place for young children. I brought them up to stand up for each other, to stand up for anyone in need, right every wrong, make a difference. The Saxons never came into the heart of Sherwood. The Norse did, but they were different. I understood the Norse. Violence and abandonment, wanting to make a name for themselves, wanting the attention. Everything they did was for attention. But my children, I'll come to them shortly, my life's work, their own life's work. I gave them life, they seized it as best they could. I never knew my parents, though Cenonus was my father. This, Sherwood, this is his territory. The people were his, are his. I was a babe, no mother, except the forest. I survived, a feral thorn, a kid, a crazy, confused calf. I had to. Life was all I wanted. A man who would care for me, would share his life with me, children, a home. I didn't want a world of war and hurt and pain. I didn't want to be routing Athelstan's troops or defying Cenonus, marshalling rebellious Norsemen to take a stand. But I get ahead of myself. I was a babe, born to a village girl. I didn't have these. First blood gave me these. My mother had nothing. My father, my father, strutting about the forest like the stag he is, god of the forest, lord of the trees. Every time someone cries his name, he grows an inch. Life was hard. Nuts and berries. One for the rat, one for the crow, one to eat, and one to grow. Moss, sometimes, mud. There was nowhere we could go to for food. We scavenged, we stole, we bartered, we traded. Not that I could do much more than be a hindrance, a forest, feral fawn child. If I had known then what I know now, if I had known then what I know now, would I still do it the same? To go back, to challenge Cenonus, knowing the pain of loss, the pain of death, the pain of... I would strike harder at Cenonus. He has responsibilities. I would not hold back. I would not hope for another way. I would burn Sherwood, and I would rage, and the Norse would rally to me, and we... It would still be the same. We all die in the end. But what an end I would make of it. Athelstan cuffs me and thinks that I accept it, that I will lick my wounds, that without my children to fight for, I am muzzled, that I am without purpose. I think I have shown him that is not how it will be. He has roused me. He has roused the bear in me, and I will fight. My mother died shortly after I began to walk and talk. Do you know what it is to fight for every day? To be hunger, to be thirst. None came to my aid. I had no kin. No kin. A child, alone, in the wilderness, growing in all sorts of ways and hiding from the Norse, the Saxons, the authorities. Live free, die wild, a forest feral child, and learn the ways of the forest. What I could eat. What I could set traps with. When to go, when to hide, when to fight, when to... Villagers caught me, eventually. They called me Cenonus Get. The horned gods Get. Some worshipped me, a little. Others wanted to sacrifice me to their god. An unwilling sacrifice to bring them good crops. I escaped. But it was too late. I had seen him, a boy. Some threw stones at me, thinking me a demon. I was but a horned child, lonely, cold, hungry, lonely, cold, hungry, a child with no one to support her. Cenonus, I call upon you! I had seen his followers call upon him. Sometimes he came, a stag, a warrior, the wind whispering through the leaves of an oak. He didn't come. I am not one of Cenonus's followers to anoint his altar with my wealth or my prey. He never came when I called him. Not then, nor when I faced my darkest hour. It is nothing no one should face to find their children. I didn't want him to support me. I didn't need him to support me. I just wanted to know why. Was I a mistake? An oversight? Was I intentional? I have no powers. I am not Canonus to disappear into the forest, to appear at my followers' camps. Not that I have any followers. Sherwood is not my domain, though it is my home. No, I have no powers. Only these. Am I a freak? A single mother, born of a single mother with an attribute of my father, though he denies, disavows, disowns me. A mother. I cared only for my children. My man gave me children. 3. 2 boys and a girl. He gave us a home deep in the heart of Sherwood, where none could find us. It was all I had ever wanted. All too swiftly gone. My children grown, denied by my father, my man taken from me, no claim upon him, though he had precious little goods or chattel to share. Canonus, I know it was you fathered me. I am your daughter. Come to me, Canonus. And so I grew, something between a feral fawn and a woman, a mother, still wild, so horned. In winter I buried us deep into the earth, kept warm by the slow beating heart of Sherwood. We slept, we slumbered, and the worst of winter passed us. In spring, life returned and I nurtured them. My children grew, my man grew bolder, hunting and fishing, wanting to build up stocks against the next winter. Life was good. Too good. Sherwood was not ours and ours alone. The Norse hunted in it. Saxons combed the edges of it, carefully, thoughtfully. Athelstan was extending his power, binding kingdom to kingdom, building a world that none could escape. And Canonus followers knew I existed. They too sought me out, though they sought me for other reasons. But now, my children was always strongest through my children. They were never going to be kings or mighty warriors, but they were good people. They would have made a difference, built a community, Sherwood against the world. The 5 of us. Hode. That's what my mother called me. I was small born. I fit into a hode. My mother took it from her head and wrapped me in it. Can't wear a hood. Can't waste anything. I barely remember her. Mother was a place of safety. The world, Sherwood, was a big, exciting, scary place. Mother was safety. Mother was comfort. Mother was. I was. The nunners gave us nothing. We lived on scraps, nuts and berries. She did what she could. I know she did. But that didn't last. Mother died. I was a child. They came and took her. The villagers. What little she had, they took. Then they buried her. I was just in the way. An unnecessary mouth to mouth. No one had the care or compassion to feed. That was the worst of it. I was alone. An abandoned outcast, a stranger in my own land, no father, no mother. I wasn't even horned then. I tried going to the village for food. I was hungry, desperate. They threw stones at me, drove me out. I was just a get, a byblow of their gods. An inconvenience. When I was older, those same villagers tried to tell me that I should worship Canunus, that I should dedicate my life to him, that I was fallen and only through him could I be saved. I've never heard such nonsense. If I was fallen, why hadn't they tried to help me when I had been a child? I know why. I was a freak, but I was female. A female image of their god. Was I an idol or was I a witch? Some didn't care. Others wanted to. I was done with them. They didn't know how to treat me. Thought because I was a woman, I was weaker. Ha! Nothing soft about my heart. Or my horns. My man's been dead these long years. It'll only ever be him for me. It's lonely without him. I miss him. But my heart was his the moment I saw him, and he felt the same. They never tell you it'll be hard being a mother and a father, being denied by your own father, having these horns that make running risky, that drag me backwards. I can't go anywhere in secret. The witch child, the girl with the horns. I'm known wherever I show my face. Known and reviled for being me. My man loved them. Afterwards, I would lie with my head on his belly, and he would caress them. I can still feel his fingers, like whispers in the wind, caressing my horns. I would lie, sated and at ease, and he would stroke my horns gently. I loved him, and he loved me.